Hi, human beings. Welcome to 838 Lisa Chabrink. So, today's topic is going to be about periods. That's right, periods. And seriously, there's no reason for anybody to turn away and click off of this video because if this grosses you out, then you have no right at all to make assumptions or any sort of laws about my body or anybody else who has a period. So, menstruation, yes, this is what we are talking about today. Right now in the United States, I have seen a lot of women who are banding together to try to help beat the system, meaning we're trying to keep things under the radar very much about our personal lives when it comes to periods. Now, we obviously need to discuss menstruation. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like every other human being has it. And again, you should not be embarrassed or ashamed or grossed out to speak about this, especially now. Right now, in the United States, after Roe versus Wade has been overturned, there is a lot of fear and a lot of threat to women. And part of the worry is being tracked by period trackers. So, yeah, it's 2022. A lot of us have period trackers. And for the most part, people have been deleting them and, kind of being afraid to put anything, or they're doing the exact opposite and they are putting all of them on their phone in order to confuse data. Um, so I have one right now that is, oh, what is it called? Oh, it's something like period calendar. I did have Flow at one point. I did delete that a long time ago, but it was just because the features weren't as good as the one that I just uploaded, like a year and a half ago. So I have endometriosis and I have PCOS and I have unbelievably unpredictable cycles. I can bleed for 7 weeks at a time, or 3 months at a time, and then maybe have 2 or 3 days break and then start all over again. Or I can do the exact opposite and not bleed for like 3 months. It's an up and down thing for me. There's no rhyme or reason. And the funny part to me is when the app errors out, because it's like, what the heck are you doing, Lisa? However, your data is getting sold or shared with many different entities, and that is no longer safe. Now, it wasn't safe to begin with when you think about it, but now more than ever, since the overturn of Roe versus Wade, it is not safe anymore. So, I recommend one or two things. Delete all your apps that have to do with menstruation. And there is one that I have found that has particularly deemed safe, and it is called Clue, CLUE period tracker. This is out of the UK, but you can get it in the United States. It's either out of the UK or Cuba. I think it's the UK. You download that, and there's a whole lot of information about how they do not sell anything to third parties, and people seem to trust that. So that is one thing that you can do, is if you do want a period tracker on your phone. I feel like most of us, I use technology. I've never ever done a calendar for my period because it's all over the place. It's nice to have that information in front of you, especially going to doctor appointments. And this is why I want something like this on my phone, because I can show you all the symptoms and everything that I've been having, and also what has been off. Like, what is there any patterns? Like, it is important for women to be able to have the freedom to be able to have a simple app to track their periods, like anybody else having an app to track your bank transactions. You should feel safe with that. And yes, I have a VPN and things like that, but it's not stopping the app itself from selling information to somebody else. It's just protecting, your information from going out in a different way. So I probably will get rid of my other app and download the Clue app just because it is something that I think would be handy and beneficial for myself. Now, other women, like I said, who I am definitely applauding, are getting all the period trackers on their phones in order to confuse things. It's funny. Just they're putting in fake information. This is something that people are literally afraid of right now, to know what an individual cycle is. That's very personal information. While everybody should feel free, very free and open to talk about it, the cycle itself, that's private information. You don't need to necessarily tell the entire world that you're on your period unless you feel like it. Now, there shouldn't be any shame or any snickers or anything like that if that happens. But I am just saying, you you should have a level of privacy afforded to you, and that's human decency. That is genuine human decency. But I digress. This is a fear, especially with people tracking pregnancies and things like that. This is a very a very intrusive situation for the women in the United States right now. The other thing that I am seeing is women not purchasing any like pads, sanitary napkins, tampons, anything like that, wipes, the period panties, the cup, anything like that with a credit card. Because again, that's something that is being tracked. They are going to cash only. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, there are places that are cash free, which doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know for sure if purchasing a gift card from an establishment, let's just say CVS for an example, you go to CVS, you purchase a gift card in cash, and then you use your gift card to pay for your feminine hygiene products, or your hygiene products for having a period. Um, Without putting your rewards in there, I don't believe there actually will be any sort of tracking on that information that can come back to you because you're paying in cash. The other thing is women are begging people to not use their reward points at grocery stores or CVS or things like that because that is, again, tracking. Or do the exact opposite and buy in bulk. So, people who are menstruating, buy your tampons, buy your pads, buy whatever you need to use during your cycle, but buy a lot of it at once. If you're able to do that, there are several women getting together as a community and helping each other out by buying in bulk, tampons, pads, whatever. And helping each other out, like they are going to use this supply. So, like, here's a supply closet. We're putting all of this, period stuff in here, and it's free for any of us to use. We're all going to contribute to this stash, but we are going to do what we can to not make this something that's trackable. So, cash, gift cards, finding people that you can go in, like within a community setting. Please do not forget to help homeless shelters or foster homes, schools, anything like that. Donate this stuff in bulk too, because they totally, absolutely need it. But you do not need, especially a teenager, being trapped by any of this stuff. Like, I'm on the older, I'm not really that old, but I'm older in the period world. I started at 8 years old, and it's been a long damn time, and I'm tired of it, but anything could still happen to me, and that's something I believe I could deal with better than a 10-year-old whose doctors are being prosecuted for taking care of an abortion for her because she was 10. And there's starting to be a legal process against everybody who helped her out. Yeah, the world's fucked up. So don't use reward points. Use gift cards. Use the Clue app if you feel like it. Um, Remember that pads and tampons do not have an expiration date, so that's something that you don't necessarily have to worry about, and you can stock up on them for a very long time. People are also advising against buying online, such as doing it through Amazon or doing it through a third party like Shipped, or I don't know any other places outside of Shift. But anyway, getting the picture there. Again, because those are tracked not only through, the Shipped app, but also through the store. So it, we do live in a society in, I hope you like that reference. We do live in a world where we are tracked with everything, but it's one of these things that is getting a little bit scary because we know that they are using information like our periods and things like that against us. We know that's happening, and we know that we need to defend ourselves. And part of the ways that we can defend ourselves is these different things. The other thing is encouraging men to go out and buy in bulk, but also don't use the same means that we were talking about. Don't use a debit card, don't use a credit card, don't use any sort of, that's Bowie, any sort of rewards program while you do that. Pregnancy tests. Pregnancy tests are something that you can buy in bulk. The thing is, if they expire and they say you're pregnant, you're really pregnant. Like, you're super, super pregnant. But it is important to be able to have access to pregnancy tests, to condoms, to things like that. And it is getting harder and harder for females. So, or sorry, anybody that is menstruating, anybody who presents as female, anybody that has menstruation issues, or, I call them issues because we all, ugh, it's not nice, okay? It's not pleasant. It might be something that we should be able to talk about freely, but it ain't fucking pleasant at all. It's gross. It's annoying. I hate it. I have endometriosis. It makes things so much worse. But, we really have to look out for each other. Whoever is a menstruating person, we need to look after each other and make sure that we can skip this sort of interrogation and something that is very personal, that is an invasion of all of our privacies. And again, yes, there's all our stuff is being tracked, but this is being used for nefarious purposes. So I do really encourage all of you to think about deleting your apps or doing the exact opposite and getting all of them and putting all the information in the world out there. Doesn't even have to be right. Buy your pads, tampons, whatever in cash without any sort of reward cards. You can use coupons with cash. So coupons will not necessarily tie back to you, especially if they're a manufacturer coupon, not a coupon that's sent to you directly from. I'll give you an example. I get Kroger. I get personalized coupons from them. I would not use that for buying, pads or whatnot. I would simply just skip it. But if I had a manufacturer coupon that you can get out of the newspaper or you can get, online and bring it in, you can use that without a problem, without that being tracked back to you. Buying gift cards at some points can probably be very helpful. Buying in bulk because the stuff does not expire unless you're talking about, condoms, any sort of birth control situation, um, female condoms, pregnancy tests. Try to have men buy these too. We need to find more cooperation with men that are willing to help us out because this is an actual problem. This isn't, I just keep saying The Handmaid's Tale was written as a warning, not as a guidebook. And we are getting to that point where it's beyond a warning. This is happening. And before you know it, we are going to lose our right to work, our right to have our own bank accounts, our right to marry, these rights are very real and very scary about honestly being taken away from us. So let's help each other out, and please do not forget homeless food pantries, schools, things like that, youth groups for kids. Please have this stuff available to them. This might be the only way that they can get them. You don't know. You really don't know. And it is so important to be able to provide and help each other out. And menstruating people, if you would like to start a community that we can kind of help each other out, that is absolutely fine with me. I just thought about that off the top of my head. I'm not a genius, so I don't know what all that would entail, but I think there's a way that we could all help each other out and help, menstruating people out, because damn it, we need it. And before I go, I want to just point out something really quick called the pink tax or the luxury tax. There should never be a luxury tax on having a period, because it's not like we choose to have this. This is just something that happens biologically. And if you believe that we should have a pink tax or a period tax, oh God, you're making money off of a biological situation that, it's not like a luxury item like a certain type of razor. And that's not even supposed to be luxury, but this is stuff that is literally needed. You don't get a pink tax on diapers. So just pointing that out there. We're always second class citizens when it comes to the United States, and we have to work twice as hard, and we have to be twice as savvy, and we are being kept down now more than ever. And, I'm sure if my grandma was alive or my mom was alive today, they'd be pissed, angry, because these guys that came before me, these gals, pals, non-binary people who came before us, our trans sisters, they paved the way. And now the way is being puked on. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful night. please leave comments down below and I will talk to you all later. Please, I'm open to more suggestions. I definitely want to bring this voice out and tell the public about the things that we are very concerned and very confused about too. All right, see you later. Bye for now.